Okay, just back up a little bit to make sure we didn't lose anything.
Okay.
So you have your daughter when you're 43.
Right.
You had your son when you were 37.
38.
38.
Mm-hmm.
So your daughter when you're 43, so she's getting out of high school when you're 60,
Yeah.
just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you move here? How old were you when you moved to Indiana?
I've been here since a year ago this past July.
So you haven't been here that long.
No. No, I'm new.
Let's see, if you're born in 51, you're 62?
I'm 62.
So your daughter hasn't been out of the home that long then?
No.
Is she in college now?
She's in college in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And actually we're excited because she just got accepted to University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
For animal veterinary science.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's going to go there in the fall.
Well, that's exciting.
She's disgustingly smart.
Yeah? I think you've mentioned that before.
Yes. Yes.
And what about your son? What does he do?
My son, well, he graduated from East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania with sports management.
Yeah.
But he hasn't found anything in his field yet, so he's working for a company in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's doing all right. He seems to like it.
Do you get to see him often?
No.
No.
No. Actually, I haven't seen him since my birthday last May.
Oh, really? Did he come here for your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no grandchildren yet?
No, bite your tongue.
Really? You're not in a hurry?
They're not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
They need to live a
They're
little bit.
not ready. What about you?
Oh, well, they come when they come.
It's like for me, with Mercedes and her age, I'm ready for a grandbaby because I miss not having the little ones at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want her to have a baby yet. I want her to graduate, be working, have a good solid life.
Exactly.
But the selfish part of me wants a little baby.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They're fun to play with, fun to hold.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not yet.
Yeah.
They need to live a little.
Yeah.
Becky needs to get through school. My gosh. She's got 7 years left of college, so she's going to be a vet.
Yeah.
She needs to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of schooling for veterinarians.
It's just like being a regular MD.
I've heard that it's sometimes tougher than being an MD. Because with animals, there's all kinds of species of animals. With humans, there's one species.
And she wants to specialize in the exotic, the big ones, elephants and...
Oh, really?
Yeah, zoo-type things, so she can work in a zoo.
I never even thought about the exotic animals.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always thinking about horses, cows, cats, and dogs.
Right.
And pigs, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So you're married to your first husband for 9 years, and then you remarry when you're
37.
So
it's
when
okay.
You're 37. So you moved to Pennsylvania with your first husband. So
no,
after
the
that,
second husband I moved to Pennsylvania.
With the second husband?
Yes.
How'd you meet the second husband?
Through work.
Yeah?
Yeah. I sold the appliance repair service eventually after my first husband passed, and took a little time off for myself, and then I went back to work for a company that I used to buy parts from. And I met my second husband there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did he sweep you off your feet?
No, it was weird.
No.
Actually, we started working at that company on the exact same day.
Oh.
And I don't know what it was, but he was considerably younger than I.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had second and third thoughts about that.
How much younger?
14 years.
Oh.
I robbed the cradle.
Yeah. Now it's not such a big deal, but I guess
No.
at that time, 14 years is a good difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think it's easier with that much difference when the woman's older than the man being older. You know, I think about myself now, you know, at 42, and I have a buddy that's dating somebody that's in their early 20s, and I think, I would not want to listen to a 20-something girl. I wouldn't want to listen to him.
There's
you know,
a lot
talking,
of drama.
the yakking, the drama. But if I if I was 55 and they were 30, then or if
Yeah.
I was 50 and they were 30, it wouldn't be so bad.
The older you get, the difference gets smaller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Sure.
yeah. What does it matter after they get past the 20s?
Mhm.
What does it matter?
It's not so bad.
And does he
Yeah.
have a college education?
No, he graduated from high school, and that
Uh-huh.
was it. And then he went to work.
And what does he do now?
He's passed.
Your second husband has passed.
He passed this past May.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
That's okay.
Um, can I ask how or?
He had a lot of emotional problems, and he was an abuser of various substances,
Uh-huh.
and I think eventually it caught up with him.
Yeah. And I can edit out any of this
That's
that
okay.
you don't want in there.
It's all right.
Well, I didn't know that. It's so funny how you can work with somebody
Mm-hmm.
really pretty closely, hand in hand, and then
Mhm.
know so little about them.
Yeah, we went through a lot,
Yeah.
and eventually I had to put a stop to it legally.
Uh-huh.
It was a bad situation, really bad.
Did you move here with him?
No,
No.
no. Actually, I ended up getting a PFA, which is a protection from abuse order from
Really?
the court. Yeah, it was a bad situation all the way around. Bad for the kids, bad for me,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you have family out here?
My sister is here.
And so you came here to live
Yes,
with her?
and I'm with her now.
You live with her now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sometime, but not on this,
Mm-hmm.
I might ask other questions.
Okay.
But, so your sister lives here. How long has she lived here?
She's been here 4 years.
Yeah?
She moved here when she got married to a man who has lived here his whole life.
Yeah?
And they're doing fine, except we're talking about moving back to Tennessee, which is where she's from.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And what's her last name now?
Paulus.
Paulus, I don't know any. I moved here from Missouri, so I don't.
Okay.
I know some of the big farming names in our
Mhm.
area, but
Mhm.
not all the last
Oh, there's a
names.
gazillion Pauluses.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He's one of 12.
One of 12 kids?
Yeah.
So if you go to Tennessee, what town would
Knoxville.
you go to Knoxville?
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be too far from like Gatlinburg and Pigeon
Oh,
Forge.
no.
So you'd be in really beautiful country,
Yes.
wouldn't you?
Yes.
When
And
do
a
you
little
think-
bit warmer than here.
Yeah. When do you think that'll happen?
I don't know. They need to sell the house here.
Uh-huh.
So.
Is it for sale?
It is for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both retired, I guess?
No, he actually works at the high school. He's an aide at the high school.
Oh.
And she works in Terre Haute for a construction company
What company?
in the office. I don't remember the name of it because she's starting on Monday.
Oh, okay.
So I don't remember the name.
And so I'm guessing there must be a pension or something there for them to like sell
They're
and then
both-
go and start over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, her family is all there, or most of her family is there.
Her family, I mean, I assume is your family, of course. Or are you talking about like her kids? And
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Does she have grandkids?
She has grandchildren. She has 6.
So by association, you get to at least be around some
Oh,
grandchildren.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, she started having her kids a lot younger than I did, too, so
Uh-huh.
that made a difference.
Yeah. The one day in class, we were going over Black history, and we were
Mhm.
talking about the civil rights and things like that. And you had some interesting perspective on it, considering you were in New Jersey around this time.
Mhm.
So if we can, we'll talk about some of that.
Okay, those were scary times.
Yeah, and you would have been
I was
probably
in,
7, 8 years old when the real heat of it was going on in the late 50s and going into the early 60s. You would have been 9, 10 years
Mhm.
old.
Yeah.
And sometimes our memories are a little bit biased or sometimes cloudy, or they're prettier than what things actually are. But, excuse me. But what do you remember of that time? Of the segregation? Do you remember seeing the different water fountains, any signs
Okay.
up and things?
Well, in my elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
for example, there was not one black child. I went to school, that's a fallacy. I went to school with 2 black children when I was in 3rd grade for that 1 year.
Uh-huh.
After that, there were no black children in the school at all.
Were there none in your neighborhood?
There weren't any in the town. And when I went to high school,
Uh-huh.
which was in 1965, when the race riots and all of that
Mm-hmm.
were really moving, about half the school was black.
Yeah.
And that was really scary.
How did the whites and blacks get along at your high school?
Generally speaking, superficially,
Uh-huh.
okay. While they were in school.
Yeah.
Outside of school, it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Actually, I went with my sister to the Thanksgiving Day football game,
Mm-hmm.
and we won, beat our rival, of course, and we had a parade around the square in town, from the school, around the square, back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a riot, and we were right in the middle of it.
There's a riot at your town square.
Yeah. Well, it was just off the town square
Uh-huh.
when we were on our way back to the school.
What was the riot about?
I don't know how it started,
Uh-huh.
but it was definitely